You are now watching The Beach.
2023 has been an insane year for Nintendo. What originally was assumed to be a light year completely took a 180 and is likely to become the best year for the Nintendo Switch yet. It was the June Nintendo Direct and Pikmin 4 that really got me hyped for Nintendo again, but one of the most fascinating things has been how the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC has evolved. When the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC was announced, many fans weren't happy, especially with how underwhelming Wave 1 was, but things did get better with Wave 2, and with Wave 3, that's when the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC officially became something a majority of Nintendo fans could get hyped for. Wave 3 was fantastic, and Wave 4 was almost as great, and with Wave 5, expectations were naturally quite high. Now that Wave 5 is officially out, it's time to break out the unofficial Super Mario scale to see how it turned out. So on a scale of Cloud to Superstar, how is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC Wave 5? The first cup is the Feather Cup. Already, it has quite a varied selection of tracks, but will it pass the Dimitri test with flying colors? Let's Mario World nosedive right in and see how the Feather Cup turned out. The first track is Athens Dash from Mario Kart Tour. This is a relatively new track as well, debuting in the spring of 2023. And I was very excited for a very obvious reason. Being Greek myself, it's always awesome seeing Greece or Greeks referenced in games or other forms of entertainment, and to see Greece in a Mario game is even cooler. I just got back from a trip to Greece, and to say this track hits close to home would be an understatement. I really wish I stayed for the whole summer, but I'll take this track as an extended vacation. Athens Dash is a very different city track. Rather than being focused on the city portion, it's more focused on Greece's historical side, taking you through the Acropolis and Parthenon, and because of that, it's distinct from most city tracks, which can sometimes feel similar, but most importantly, it's an excellently designed track with many different sections. The only criticism I have towards Athens Dash is the music. Most city tracks will have a theme that fits a city. New York Minute has a very jazzy sound to it, whereas London Loop goes for rock and roll. But Athens Dash doesn't incorporate the sound of Greece or Greek music. It uses violins rather than traditional Greek instruments like the bouzouki, and it doesn't fit the track that well. On its own, the music sounds fine, but it doesn't sound Greek. But despite the music, to Athens Dash είναι πολύ καλό. Παίρνετε ένα superstar. Να είστε καλά. Mario Kart Double Dash has been highly underrepresented in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. We got the first Double Dash track in the DLC with Waluigi Stadium in Wave 4, and funnily enough, we have a Daisy track being Daisy Cruiser. This classic track has you on a cruise ship driving through the deck and eventually making it into the ship itself. This is overall a really fun track, and it looks incredible as well. It really fits a summer season, and most importantly, it's designed incredibly well. There's even an underwater section where you enter the cruise's basement. At least, I think it's a basement. What would the bottom floor of a cruise ship be called? Anyone know? The track is a bit short, and I would have preferred to see a track like Wario Coliseum from Double Dash, but as it stands, Daisy Cruiser is still a great time.
Hee I got it!
Mario Kart Wii has some of the best tracks in the entire series. We got Coconut Mall, we got Mushroom Gorge, and we got Maple Treeway. And now, we have Moonview Highway. This is a track I was not expecting to come back, but I'm very happy to see it. Mario Kart games will always have a highway track, and Moonview Highway is Wii's signature one. I initially thought that it might be too similar to Toad's Turnpike, but it's actually quite different. There are many speed boosts throughout the track, and cars to avoid, including bomb trucks that explode upon impact. And it does bring the trucks you can do tricks off of from Toad's Turnpike, which is nice. Visually, it looks great as well, and the music is just as great as it was in the original. They remixed it, but not too much, retaining that classic sound. The best highway track in the game, and easily a superstar. The signature track of Wave 5 is the long-awaited Squeaky Clean Sprint. A bathroom track was rumored for quite some time. Just thinking about it, I was honestly at a loss for words. Would Mario and friends be diving into a toilet and exploring a sewer? Then I realized this is Mario Kart. This isn't Conker's Bad Fur Day. But let's think about it. There had to have been a meeting determining which tracks to add.
I have an idea! Let's add an ice cream track with frozen treats and a freezer! How about a track based on Yoshi's Island?
Hey guys, I just got done taking a crap. We're gonna have a bathroom track in Mario Kart.
I knew the idea of a bathroom track would be bizarre, but could Squeaky Clean Sprint actually be good? The track has you racing in the bathroom, but this bathroom in particular is not your average gas station bathroom. This bathroom is indeed squeaky clean. It actually feels like a continuation of Ribbon Road, considering you're driving in an actual house. Reminds me of Chibi Robo and the upcoming Pikmin 4, and trust me, that is a great thing. I specifically said a continuation because the track itself is entirely different from Ribbon Road. Part of the track you'll be racing in the bathroom itself, but then you'll go down the drain into the bathtub. Underwater sections are usually slow, but there's a sense of speed you'd expect from going down the drain. I do feel bad for whoever's ring this is. It also has tricks, a half pipe, and even a shortcut, but it's all topped off with a jump off a toilet. It's hard to think of a bathroom track without poop jokes, but Nintendo managed to make a bathroom track somewhat mature while also having that silly Mario feel to it. It's an absolute blast to play, and is still a really bizarre concept, but it's hands down a superstar of a track because of how creative and silly it is, and honestly, it fits right in with 2023 being the year of poop. The Feather Cup has overall been great. We have 3 perfect tracks, and a great track as well, but before getting into the Cherry Cup, Wave 5 actually did go Bed Bath & Beyond, because there are now 3 additional characters. Petey returns from Mario Kart Double Dash. No, not that Petey. This Petey. Petey Piranha is a fan favorite, and I'm glad to see him return. He looks great and has some excellent animations, and the voice lines aren't just reused from Double Dash. He actually has some new voice lines, at least to the Mario Kart series. Petey Piranha is a character I was kinda surprised to see, but also not. He's in Mario Kart Tour as well, but I didn't expect him to return in 8 Deluxe. I expected Diddy Kong Pauline or Nabbit before Petey Piranha, but I'm very glad he's here. But one character I was very surprised to see is Wiggler from Mario Kart 7. Wiggler was priorly not in Mario Kart Tour, and even in Mario Kart 7, he was one of the oddball characters in addition to Honey Queen. Honestly, if Wave 6 ended with Honey Queen and Spike, that would be hysterical. It would be even more hysterical if it was Honey Queen and Pink Gold Honey Queen, just to add insult to injury. But I was very excited to see Wiggler return. For the most part, his addition is great, but there is a bit of a problem. When Wiggler gets hit, he turns red, but he doesn't have the train sound when he gets hit. That's something that clearly showcased him going from 0 to absolutely furious, and the transition between here isn't smooth. Not a deal breaker, but it is an oversight worth bringing up. Finally, Kamek makes his long-awaited debut in a mainline Mario Kart game outside of Tour. There are characters I want, characters I don't want, but Kamek is in the category of truly deserving to be in Mario Kart. Man got snubbed twice, in Mario Kart 64 and then Mario Kart 8. But finally, after over a quarter of a century later, he is finally here, and it's unreal actually seeing him finally be in Mario Kart. The new characters are mostly great. Perfect if Wiggler had the level of detail found in Mario Kart 7, but considering that it's relatively easy to port characters from Tour into 8 Deluxe, why not add more? I'd be so down for more characters, even if they weren't part of the Booster Course Pass, even if it's paid. But the selection for Wave 5 is excellent. It includes fan favorites, while also having the element of surprise with Wiggler, though perhaps they included him because Wave 5 released on a Wednesday. Next up, we have the Cherry Cup. The Feather Cup was consistently great, so I'm hoping that momentum keeps up. Los Angeles Laps is the second city track of Wave 5. I love Athens Dash, but sometimes the city tracks aren't always great. Amsterdam Drift comes to mind. Thankfully, Los Angeles Laps is a fantastic track, and it fits the summertime season perfectly. You'll be racing on the beach, throughout the city, and even through a construction site. There's a lot of variety, and it actually made a change from the Mario Kart Tour version. Tour's version takes place during sundown, but the 8 Deluxe version takes place during the daytime, and it looks even better. It's a lot more vibrant and definitely suits Los Angeles better, because you know the old saying, the sun don't set in Mario Kart, right? Wait, what? The only aspect of the track I'm a bit iffy about is with the music. The original in Tour had a Beach Boys inspired bop bop to it, and it made it unique. Here, it just sounds like Mario Kart music. I get they wanted it to fit in with the rest of the tracks, but it does take away some of the uniqueness. The only other thing Los Angeles Laps is missing is the homeless people, and I'll gladly take Mario Kart's reality over that.
Hee hee! I got it!
Mario Kart Super Circuit has aged poorly, which is why I love seeing tracks from that game remade into 8 Deluxe. I don't love going back to Super Circuit, but the tracks are very creative and have a lot of cool ideas. The Triforce of Super Circuit tracks for me consist of Cheeseland, Ribbon Road, and Sunset Wilds. Sunset Wilds was one of my most wanted tracks throughout the DLC, and it is finally here. Sunset Wilds is a very unique track. It's simple in layout, but is designed incredibly well, and has some clever obstacles with the Shy Guys. They're going for an explorer theme and even have their own little tents. Very creative. Sunset Wilds is my favorite Mario Kart Super Circuit track, and the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe remake is great. Visually, it looks beautiful, and as I said before, the Shy Guy obstacles are so much fun. But that sun is awfully bright for a sunset, don't you think? I'm guessing we didn't make the sun angry enough. Wait a minute. The sun don't set in Mario Kart. Oh no! A huge part of what made Sunset Wilds so unique is that the sun would set each lap, eventually reaching sundown in the final one. But in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that doesn't happen. It's almost as much of an oversight as Coconut Mall originally not having moving cars. This is so disappointing. I thought long and hard how to rank Sunset Wilds. If it had the sunset, it would get a perfect superstar, but because it's missing that important element, it lost a major part of what made it unique. However, it is still a great track. Hopefully an update will add in the sunset, and the fact that I even need to say that bumps Sunset Wilds down to Luigi and a half out of Superstar.
Yahoo!
Fans of Mario Kart Wii have been eating good with the Booster Course Pass, and in addition to Moonview Highway, we have Koopa Cape. No, not Koopa Keep, wrong game. Koopa Cape. What's interesting is that this track was also in Mario Kart 7, but was unfortunately botched. During the pipe section, the sense of speed was removed entirely to make way for a slow, uninteresting underwater segment, and I was really worried that would be the case in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as well. But fortunately, they have actually managed to have the underwater section, but retain the fast-paced pipe action of the original, because there is now anti-gravity. I'm glad to see a lot of the newer DLC tracks including anti-gravity. That was a criticism I had of prior waves, and including it really gives these tracks an extra level of detail found in the base tracks. I will admit, I do prefer the pipe section in the original, but Koopa Cape still remains a phenomenal track that has an excellent layout, lots of tricks, as well as a stellar presentation. I especially love how the Koopa shell houses are metallic.
You know, Demeech, I feel like we always end up in Canada. Why can't we ever go on a vacation somewhere different, like Aruba? How about Brazil? Heck, I'd even take Kazakhstan at this point.
Because any other vacation would be 100% factually invalid.
Vancouver Velocity is one of the coolest city tracks in Mario Kart. It's one of the first 5 to be in Mario Kart Tour, and it really stood out. It takes place during Aurora Borealis, and while part of it takes place in the downtown, there's also sections that showcase the beauty of Canada's nature. But Mario Kart 8 Deluxe makes it even better and includes a hockey stadium with Shy Guys. Kind of a missed opportunity not to include the Kongs, you know, cause Donkey Kong hockey, does anybody else remember that? Vancouver Velocity is an excellent track. If you're Tricky Nick or Demeech, it's always going to be 100% factually hit.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Tricolas Nicolas. Vancouver Velocity has always been one of my favorite tracks from Mario Kart Tour, and it's even better in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Visually, it looks great, and has excellent theming, and the addition of a hockey stadium really gives it that Canadian flair. Only thing it needs now is a Timmy's, considering I have fond memories of my graduation trip to Canada last year. That might play a bit of a role as to why I love Vancouver Velocity so much, but it's also the music that accompanies it. I do prefer the original tour version soundtrack, but it still sounds amazing in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's my favorite song in the entire series, and it would honestly suit a Final Rainbow Road track perfectly. Vancouver Velocity gets the ranking of a ketchup-flavored superstar. And that is every Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 5 track reviewed. Did you notice something? This wave's tracks remain consistently great or incredible. There were no iffy tracks like Wave 2's Mario Circuit 3 and Wave 4's Mario Circuit. The only notable issue was the lack of the Sunset and Sunset Wilds, but technically speaking, it's only cosmetic. And even that didn't make Sunset Wilds a bad or even mediocre track. We've been at this point since Wave 3, but I can confidently say the presentation of the tracks is no longer an issue. Graphically, they look on par with the base game now, and with Wave 3 and beyond, a lot of tracks are even stylized, like Yoshi's Island and Squeaky Clean Sprint, and they look phenomenal. The new characters are also excellent. Considering there were only 5 slots left, I was assuming Nintendo would go the predictable route. I'm hoping that characters like Diddy Kong and Pauline will be a part of it, but the surprise of Wiggler was very cool, and Kamek was long overdue. But there's one common criticism of the Booster Course Pass that's worth addressing. One of the main criticisms of the Booster Course Pass is with the amount of city tracks. Oftentimes, I'll see players groan about the city tracks, but the thing is, these tracks are one of the greatest aspects with the DLC. Even though they vary in quality, they effectively preserve tracks from Mario Kart Tour. For one, these tracks rotate in Mario Kart Tour, and aren't always playable. They're actually rarely playable, and when the servers for Mario Kart Tour eventually go down, we'll still have the tracks from that game in 8 Deluxe, whereas with the other Mario Kart games, their tracks will be there forever. And with Wave 5, each city track does something unique. Athens Dash is based on ancient Greece and includes historical landmarks. Los Angeles Laps is a more traditional city track, but is incredibly varied. And Vancouver Velocity has the winter theme and variety as well. Preserving Tour's content is only a good thing, and it's the reason why I bought the DLC in the first place. Well, that and a little bit of persuasion from my good pal Starchronics. It's incredible how much the DLC has evolved since Wave 1. Wave 5 is my favorite wave, although Wave 3 is very close, and even Wave 4 was incredible, especially with Yoshi's Island. I do wonder if Nintendo has taken feedback into account. They ditched New Super Mario Bros. And are making an entirely new and creative 2D Mario game. They haven't made an unfinished game since the Mario Strikers Battle League fiasco last year, and even things like the Princess Peach game might have been inspired by the want for a follow-up to Super Princess Peach. Nintendo's 2022 had a lot of lows, but in 2023, it seems like they might have learned from them. And with that being said, Nintendo has officially won me back. This is an amazing year to be a Nintendo fan, and I couldn't be happier. Now the real test will be Wave 6. Will it be the perfect wave? So what do you guys think? What is your favorite Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 5 track? Anyways, thanks for watching, and keep calm and da-da on.